Okay, too late. My game has begun. And we get a grandmaster. Grandmaster Kwiatkowski. Let's go for a comeback, guys, and perhaps even beat this grandmaster. Let's go d5 in this game. Let's go knight f6. I think grandmasters who play the London should automatically degrade their title to international master. Let's go c5 here. Knight c6. Knight d2 I suspect. Then I will go for my line with bishop f5. Okay, here I play queen b6. Why would he go for this variation though? I don't understand. It's known for being a bit bad. Yeah, why does he go for this endgame, guys? After b5, b4, it's known to be good for black, so I don't see why my opponent would go for it. Okay, knight e5 is a smart move, preventing me from executing the b4 break right away, but I think I can just go e6 and then execute the b4 break nevertheless, because if I'm able to execute it, then I'm able to weaken a few of my opponent's pawns, and that would be very nice for me indeed. Yeah, to go b4 here would be ideal. And my opponent can't really stop it, because after knight d2 I will go b4 anyways, because after pawn takes b4, bishop takes b4, pawn takes b4, there would be rook takes a1. So yeah, I just know that pushing b5, b4 gives black a pretty good advantage in this ending. I mean, this is something I've got once over the board, and it was very pleasant to play as black indeed. So I have no idea why my opponent wants to go into this bad ending. But okay, I mean, it's his choice, it's his life, I'm not complaining, to put it that way. Now I guess he wants to meet b4 with the e4 pawn break. Can I try the knight h5 move here? That is the question, guys. Let's try knight h5 and see what my opponent has in mind. If bishop g3, then I might just take it and go b5, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, now I'm starting to like my position quite a bit, guys. What is my opponent doing? Can I take on f4? That is the ultimate question. Is it a good move to take on f4 or not? Or should I just take on c6 and be a happy lad? I can also take on c6, why not? Let's just take on c6, guys. Yeah, here I thought f6 would be nice for me, so I guess I will play it. Bishop c7 is what I thought would be the best move for my opponent, yes. And here, what did I want? For I would go to a7, bishop b6, rook a6, bishop c5, I would take it. Yeah, bishop c5, bishop takes c5, pawn takes c5. Now I have to be careful, my opponent wants to go g4 and trap my knight. So let's try and play maybe g6, so that after g4 I can play the move knight g7. I think the pawn on e5 is on c5 is a bit weak, so I should have a pretty comfortable position here. Next I want to go e5 maybe, so I guess that's what I'll go for. If e4, bishop e6, okay, that looks decent for me. Something I should definitely not complain about. The next question is, do I want to go king f7, king e7, or do I just want a castle? I guess one idea is to play knight g7, knight e6, and try and gobble up the pawn on c5, because the pawn on c5 is potentially very weak. So I'm starting to really like my position, and I'm also up on time a little. So yeah, that's nice, guys. And yeah, I think I'll go for the move king f7. I don't think it makes a big difference, so I'll just choose one of the moves quickly. And now it's starting to look good for me, and I have no idea why my opponent has been playing the moves that he's been making, which is interesting indeed. Yeah, now he's really going into the thinking tank, which makes sense, because I also am really starting to question my opponent's decision. I don't understand why he's played the way he's played at all. I think after e4 I even have the original move d4. Okay, here let's go king f7. Then knight g7, knight e6 next. Let's go. Maybe I shouldn't have allowed it. I don't know if it's dangerous though. I can definitely take on f4 and then take on e3. I don't know how good that is for me, but it looks interesting, so I guess I'll try it. But then he gets a strong knight on d4 though, so he has a lot of compensation. But I guess it's not enough for 2 pawns, right? Yeah, it shouldn't be enough compensation for 2 pawns. That's a bit too much. Yeah, I'm up 2 pawns in this position, so even though, yes, my opponent gets an awesome knight on d4, For 2 pawns it just shouldn't be enough. Let's try to move rook g8, guys, attacking my opponent's pawn on g2. The only thing is the pawn on e3 is a bit weak, but okay, even if he wins it, then I shouldn't be worse. Though yeah, maybe I shouldn't have given my opponent a really strong knight on d4. Yeah, here h4 is very tempting, trying to activate my pieces. So let's go for the h4 pawn break, guys. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have given him this move, guys. I probably should not have done that. Now I can go rook e8 and then go bishop g4 next. I guess that's what I'll do. Yeah, an idea is rook e4 and trying to push b4 at some point so that this knight becomes unstable. Because this knight on d4 is my opponent's only good thing about this position. Let's go bishop g4, I guess. Rook e4 next, perhaps. Now I think b4 is a threat, guys. Yeah, b4 is definitely a threat. Now my opponent, I think, lets me take on g2. Pawn takes g4, g2, rook takes, king here. Yes, it works for me. Pawn takes g3. And then I should be winning. Ah, but he has this move that I missed. I'll just go bishop d7, I guess, or... Yeah, maybe bishop h5 is better, yes, so I can block the g file with bishop g6. Here I definitely should go b4. If rook g1, I'll go bishop g6, blocking the g file. Now I just let him take with a pawn though, yeah, that's a problem. Let's go here though, I have a lot of activity at least, so that's nice. Yeah, but I clearly misplayed it a little. Yeah, I really misplayed this position, guys. Let's try f5 with the idea of f4 now. Trying to push my pawn up the board a little. King f6, defending the pawn. Then f4 next. There is a pawn on b2 which I can take. Why don't I give a check and go bishop h5? That looks winning, guys. Let's take and then give a check on f1. Give a check here. I guess I will take. G6, h5. Can't I just push f3, guys? Isn't this winning for me? Let's go down here. Yes, we got him, guys. We got him, boys. Let's go.